Ramona and I have been talking, thank you, have been talking about our programs, and then we really think it's very important we share our vision with our audience. What we think, why we do this, and why would this help people, and why we need more
and the
ballet
performing
and
arts
music.
too.
Yeah.
We are on a big mission, eh?
Yes. So would you like to share a little bit with you what you've been the discussion within your group?
Yes, so first maybe I can say who I am. So I'm Ramona Schmid, and I'm a ballet mentor for adult ballet dancers. And what I do with them, so that people understand this, so my approach is a very playful one, which is not very usual in ballet. And I think that it's the playfulness that helps people to connect to their body. And actually, I think it's also the best way to learn. And I think this is something we really have in common, to never forget that actually we learn the best if we do it in a playful way. Yeah, so the visions, and yeah, because actually it's a topic this week, and I had a masterclass. I did a video about the visions we have in ballet, and in my community, it's always a topic that I encourage the people to think out of the box, because yeah, ballet has a long history, but I think we are really ready to create new visions, how we want to approach ballet, for example, in this more playful way, or that we approach our ballet body in a different way, in a more loving way, and in a more understanding way. So instead of pushing it into a box and have lots of expectations we can actually never meet. So yeah, or never meet.
I totally agree with you, and I feel that's the way I grew up too. We are pushing into this is a certain way we do, and then in fact, last night my husband we just had this discussion last night, and I showed him. Did you see how I play the piano? It's so easy. I just had one performance yesterday, and he just said, "Isn't that amazing? Your piano the sound just filled out the whole room." And I told him, yeah, once we use our body right, it's so easy and so efficient. I have so much fun. Instead of killing myself, gotta hit it hard, use all my energies. And once we find it, and he would just look at me, what's your vision? What do you want to do? It sounded like so wonderful. And I said, that's why I want to help people to learn, to find out how much, and it does exactly the same thing when you do with the playfulness in the ballet to understand our body. Yeah.
I just read a very interesting comment that someone said, mentioned the perfectionism and reaching perfection. So I think this is something also I would be interested what your thoughts are on this, because mine is that this perfection thing, so it absolutely not resonates with me. So for me, it's really a concept in the mind. So means for me, it's a little bit the opposite, as connecting in the yet and the now to the body, and seeing what's available and what's there.
Someone just
we have a lot going on here, actually.
I know, yeah, but it's so beautiful. I love it. Accepting ourselves. No one is perfect. No one is perfect.
But the question is, what is the perfection? So I never got this concept. What is perfect? Are we aiming for perfection? I don't get it. Is this something you teach your students? I don't believe, huh?
Exactly.
Yeah.
That playfulness.
Why?
That playfulness is actually, to me, is an elixir. It's how we see when you look at a little child having fun playing, and I was having fun with one student of mine, and we're doing a swing, and he has so much fun.
Yeah.
And when he having fun, is he thinking about perfection?
No.
And
No.
when we grow up, become an adult, we forget that. We
Yeah.
forget
And
life can be playful too.
yes, and isn't it that we are fascinated by children and that we are fascinated by this energy that they are radiating because they're just playing with life? Isn't that
Exactly.
more worth to approach, or isn't that more? I don't get it. Yeah. So for me, this is the rawness and the realness and being authentic. That's way more beautiful to watch. And I've seen this, and I think you definitely agree. And you've seen this.
Yeah.
You see this all the time in your students. The moments when they forget about perfectionism.
When
Then they are
enjoy
just,
it.
oh my goodness. Yes.
Exactly. And that smile. And
Yeah.
that become, to me, that become unlock.
Yeah.
Unlock, it's kind of melting down all the barrier in us. And then we kind of awaken. And when we are awake, and then you start feeling the music, that ballet. And to me, that's the expression of all the arts. And then drama, all the music and dance, that's all our same goal, to release ourselves, to come to our inner self. And
And
last,
realize the beauty, yeah?
that is the beauty, and that's
Yeah,
something
that's the
we've
beauty.
been longing for in our soul.
Yeah.
But a lot of us, we, including myself, I spent many hours practice. We just got stuck. How do I get my fingers right? How do I do it right? And we were stuck. We forgot why do we do this? Why do I play piano? Why do I dance? We
Yeah,
want
yeah,
to
yeah,
find
that's
a
it. Yeah.
little me inside of us. Yeah. So it's
And
so beautiful. Yeah. So you want to share a little bit about what you talk about, a whole body experience with our
yeah,
audience
and you know
here?
what? Because you just said it, and I'm also, so it's important to me that to share or to remember people, especially people who are starting late with ballet or with piano, because you said it, what happens then if you're so busy with having the fingers right and having, in my case, the form or the figures of ballet right the right way, because also professionals, they totally long for that playfulness and that authentic expression and this connection. So
Oh,
that we don't forget that. That's a big topic. So it has nothing to do with the skill level. So this is what I would say. Yeah. And this is what
exactly.
I observed. This is what I observed because for me it's super interesting because I'm a late starter in ballet. And then I was really, for me it was really interesting that, of course, actually even the more advanced they are, the more difficult it gets to connect on the soul level because you're more busy and you have to schedule and you have your commitments and you have to pay your bills because you're really doing it for a living.
Oh, definitely. In fact, my own journey when I was, I just introduced myself. I play piano, but I also sing, and I'm a conductor too. And I play pipe organ. But how do I release my muscles, my tension? I do still have a lot of tensions. But each time when I understand to release my tensions, it's a journey. I do feel that fear. But once I release that, I just feel like, wow, I come across to feel more joy in my own playing. And that part, it's so precious. It's so precious. In fact, yesterday I was right before I play for a wedding, and the student might just send me a video, say, this is my video. And I'll just say, okay, I'll check it. Probably something I need to give a little feedback. And when I listen to her, I just like, oh my, she just with me for 5 months.
Yeah.
And then she played like she has been with me for 5 years. I was just like, I can't believe it. It's how amazing she sounds, because she's willing to let go, to instead of holding tight. She's willing to accept, okay, this is my muscle. Okay, I know now. I feel my tension.
Yeah.
I started releasing my body.
But how are you doing that? How are you working on your students to release or to gain that, develop that awareness?
So
How are you doing it?
last week I asked you about the arms because you talk about the weak arms, and the pianist, once they lock it,
Yeah, true.
basically it's done. So I would tell them, first of all, just do the swing. Just lift up your
Yeah.
hands and doing swing. And all of a sudden they can feel the tension. And something with that swing bring a very important awareness. And to me, that's a very important first step. Once they are aware, they start saying, oh, this is somewhere I need to go. Instead of continue hold on more tension. Our body, when we say this is not right, our body tense up. Let me try harder.
Yeah.
Yeah, and think about that's just our instinct. I think that's just building in us. And understand, my body's trying enough. Let me try from different angle. And to me, the mindset shift to understand how to reprogram the way we think. To me, I help students unlock a lot of difficulties through this angle. Yeah.
I love that. And you know what? What fascinates me is that if you, because we work very similar,
Yeah, I think so.
The moment you do that, you do the swings, or you really involve the whole body, people realize on a deeper level, I would say, that it's so helpful and they never go back. Isn't it like that? Because it's not something you put on them, like a correction. I always talk about corrections in ballet, because they understood, or their body, it's even deeper immediately. I always say your body longed for that understanding, or your body really longed for you, that you just take the moment and listen. Listen what's going on, and listen and get this input in. Yes, and then it's, oh, thank you, I've waited for it for many years.
Exactly. Yeah, I mean, our culture, I mean, I believe a lot of countries, we all grew up with instructional culture.
Yes,
so the teacher tell you, you do this, I do that, and then you will look at teacher, including myself, did I do it right?
Exactly. Yes.
You are waiting the validation from your teacher.
Yes. Is this what you want me to do? Am I doing it right?
Yeah. Am I doing it
right?
Exactly. And then we lose ourselves in the way we are learning.
Yeah, that's such a big one.
Yeah. And how to use a small movement to take back our ownership, how to feel that, how to connect with our own self. To me, I think this is probably the one of our missions we want to do with whoever work with us.
Yeah, to bring them back and to...
Exactly.
Yeah, and this is what really, is so much fun and really fulfilling to do. Exactly. Because it also shows off and shows up then in all other aspects of their life too. Yeah, if you're so used to grip and to hold tension,
that's me.
If you do it in playing piano or just if this is your first reflex, if you want to express or learn something. So if you change this, I mean, we learn every day new stuff. We need to, and we also want to be able to express ourselves on a daily basis. So it's definitely worth to rewire that. And I think this is what you're doing too.
Yeah, and once you are able to understand your bodies, it's so much easier. We know our body is so incredible. In fact, I continue to discover how well my fingers can do. I used to look at those difficult pieces. How could I do that? I would never do that. Now I'm actually looking at that and say, yeah, I can do it. I'm gonna have fun. And that kind of attitude, that's a positivity. It's just, I feel so grateful to have this opportunity to do it.
And also if you see and if you are aware and conscious how supportive your body is, because it is all the time. I think for me, this is also such a game changer. If you understand that you don't need to control your body. Of course you want to have a control, but actually it's more allowing it to do its job. And I always say, lean back a little bit more, yeah? So maybe be a little bit more quiet with your mind and let the body help you out, and let your body figure it out. And what comes naturally then, if you learn to do this, is, yeah, it's a trust on a very fundamental level that you are able to do whatever you want to do. And I think this is something that's super important to be aware in beginners. So that's really, really important to understand. Yeah. It doesn't matter if you're never too late to do it. Yes, you're never too late. Yes.
No, exactly. And then that's how I help with my singers in my church too.
Yeah.
Even my profession, they just say, wow, it has been, what a ride. And then it's just getting so much better, and all the vowel, all the way how we use our voices, just getting better and better.
Oh,
so
yes.
It's never too late. But you just brought up one point. I think I'm very curious. Most of the time, when I would tell students, you know what, your fingers just work so hard for you. And the harder we grip that muscle, right? But how to let them feel free. But at the same time, you are aware our mind is actually helping our body. I don't mean control, but it's when we find our mind and body, that connection.
And balance.
How do you help your clients to discover that?
Yeah, I mean, again, I think it starts with some simple mind shifts, really, to understand the concept, maybe, that they need each other. So there never should be the fight. Yeah, there's not one side that is better and I want to control this or that. So it's really, they play. Yes. And learning it's always a playing to find, to experiment. Yes. So I think it's that. So, because where is this balance? We don't know. Yes. We need to feel it in our body. I need to be open. The moment I first heard, because I shared with you that I also started playing the violin, and I found a teacher who really worked with me, not on tension, yes, not holding the violin like that. It was all about balance. It was all about using the body. It was a lot about voicing the notes or the piece of music. It was, there's a lot of body involved. Anyway, so this was so important for me to understand this realization. Same in ballet. We think we need to train harder and have more force and have more, but it's more about the balance and the alignment and finding this play and finding and using play to find it. And it's never, and also to know that it's never a place you arrive. Yeah, it's the same with happiness. We know that. So you're not happy and then it's done. It's a constant play to find that balance and refine it. So this is, if you in the performing arts, it's always about refining and rethink and rewatch and redoing it again, refining. And for me, it's really about falling in love with that refining process.
I love it. I love it. Now this balance, it took me a long time to learn. Most of the time, again, we want a yes or no. Yeah. Teacher, yes. Did I do it right? Yes or no. That's the
give me the simple solution.
We only look for one way, and we want the picture black or white. Yeah. And we never, that balance. Can we allow that gray come in a little bit white and a little more black, or a little more white, a little bit of black? We allow that to play around. Yeah. And that balance, that concept, to me, it's very, I mean, I'm still a part of the journey. I'm still learning to find a balance. But I never realized that until much later time.
No, look, yeah.
And that balance is so important.
Because in a way, it's not a topic. And what's also important, I would say, because you're only able, it comes hand in hand with this playfulness and this balance, if you're in touch with yourself, with your soul and with your body. Otherwise, you're lost And I think this is a little bit the problem, that people then are lost, yes, because they need advice. They need, you know,
And
like white.
black and white.
This works. This,
yeah.
yeah, this works the moment you are disconnected from your body. Then you can, yeah. Or let's say, if you start to connect to your body, then, and this is also very cool, I would say, that you understand that it's way more complex. And this comes for me the moment you connect, you get used to connect with your body and your whole being and your soul. Then you understand, oh, there never was a black and white. So it's always, yeah.
And that's the beauty of the arts. And that's how I discovered how to play piano easily.
Yeah.
Most of the time we think we need hours and hours to get that motor skill.
Yeah.
But once you through that I really love that your idea of playfulness. I'm a very serious teacher and thinker. I use the black and white.
No, you can't say this now.
Now I understand, but it took me a long time to realize. And that's why I feel like now I know when I see students, I mean, there are so many videos. People are just, I'm playing this way. Did I do it right? How come I don't play well? I would just, yes. Come on, enjoy.
Come on.
Let's play. Let's play. Instead of let's do the work. And
but this is, yeah, but this is also
work.
Yeah, and this is funny because you are super advanced. I mean, you really, I don't know, how long are you in your 20 years, 30 years, 40 years? So since ever. Because no numbers here. I mean, if you go, I mean, I read, I know, books, and I really also was always curious for very advanced people or artists I really admired. And they know this, they reach that level, yeah? And the question is, can't we just put that piece at the beginning and start here in this detaching from black and white? Yeah.
In fact, yes, that's a very good point. I have to always go back to the beginning. How was the little kid?
Yeah, true.
The kids, they learn so much faster.
Yeah, that's true.
I was working with one little, I mean, I really don't have time for a little young kid, but because the sister's with me, so I accept one little boy. He's only 5. But I have to be honest, I learned more. I think I learned more from him than he learned from me. He would come in and tell me, look, and he would start showing me. I was just like, how did you discover doing that movement? It's so natural.
Wow, yeah.
So I'm teaching him. I was just like, oh, can you make it sound more musical? Oh yeah, and he started doing something different.
Wow.
So my journey is to help him discover how he can use.
Oh, I love this.
But I was just like amazed with what that little boy has so much fun.
And you just support him, yeah? So this is, yeah, I love that. You don't teach him. You don't need to teach him. He teaches you.
No, but that's where the beauty is. And when I was teaching him, I could see the parents or the grandma would just, you can do that. Can you show Stacie this? And I said, you know what? Let him play around. He has his own timing. He wants to show more.
Yes.
And that's how he put the whole thing together in a much quicker way. And I felt that understanding just like, woo, instead of you do this, okay, 1 step, do this, 1 step. He just.
Yes. Yeah. And this is actually a perfect story why I really question the structure of a ballet class, a traditional one, because it's really strict also in how it's organized. So there's really, this exercise, then this and that, and so there's no space to explore and experiment. Yeah. And I mean, I always taught ballet in that manner, that people really have a moment where they connect to themselves, and then they really have the time to experiment, because I deeply believe that people know what they need. As your little 5-year-old.
Exactly. Totally. So I felt you and we bring that awareness, and then we bring that anatomy to help them to to have that knowledge to know themselves a little bit better.
Exactly.
But
Yeah.
instead of we force them, or I mean, more instructor like to tell them what to do, we give you the tools. How about you put tools together? And at the same time, when they take that ownership, they understand their body better and their mind. And yeah. Oh, someone just commented. It's about
beautiful comments about
soul.
body, mind, and
Yes,
soul.
aligned. So beautiful. That's exactly. I felt that the more I work on that, I feel that's my mission, because I was so disconnected for a long time, long time.
And here we are
a lot. Yeah.
And here we are back with our missions and visions. So I think, so for me this is a big mission and vision to also bring that back, because it's actually we heard stories about it, like in the comment here. Yes, for the big artists, it's the most, I mean, it's just so the mind, body and soul connection. So there's just, it's set in stone. It's the most important piece. But actually what really happens in many teaching environments, it's not an important piece there. So it's just amazingly neglected there.
Exactly. And that's, to me, that's my vision. If I can help more people aware the beauty of piano instead of hard work, and I'm sure your vision probably is the same thing too. You're gonna see with more people use their own body, and would that be beautiful? People, I mean, one of my choir member, she is in the youth program with New York City Ballet. And she used to dance the Clara from the Nutcracker. And when she's singing, you can see so connected that her body movement, along with her voice, it's so beautiful. I just feel like, wow, I was in awe when I was looking at her. And my point of view is, I'm not looking at a professional singing and doing all the perfect diction. How well she connected. And when she connected, actually the way she will use her instrument, her voice, in a much better way. Later, I could see that development is coming.
Wow,
yeah.
And I mean, you mentioned that you're a singer too. So is this something you started later in life, or was this always a part of your?
Oh, that's another big topic. I share in my freedom. This month I'll be sharing my journey of all my learning. So one of the stories, I think it's around 7th, 8th grade. I took voice lesson, and I have such a terrible time. My voice crack every time. And I just don't know how to use my voice. I thought I could sing really well. But through that year, it was just like, it was a nightmare. I couldn't sing. I couldn't believe I don't trust myself, and I didn't trust myself anymore. I felt like, okay, I want to stay away from singing, and I never know how much that affect my entire music learning career.
Oh wow, yeah.
So when I was in high school, probably I was the only one. Right before the performance, I was still kind of trying to memorize the text. I disassociated those texts with the music completely, and my head is only stick with. So it became, I only enjoy instrumental music. I hate singing. I hate listening. And the funny part is, my husband, who loves opera, who loves human voice, I was just like, okay, you listen to opera, I will listen to symphony.
Wow.
But you know what? It thanks to our universe, our creator. It just brought me back. So I never thought I'll become a choir director. I never thought I'll get back into a singing world again.
Yeah.
But then it's just such a journey, and I begin to discover there's so much in our little tiny muscle, how our voice change, how little dial, how we can use. And that actually helped me to understand how much tension I was holding inside. This is a little small part. There's so many, yeah.
But actually why I'm asking is because I'm guessing that your approach helped you to reconnect to that part, to sing, because I didn't tell you, because I was in a choir too. Yeah, in Vienna. So I love singing too. And I really, it was really amazing that I had all this knowledge about the body, because I approached it very differently. It was so also very playful way how I did it during the classes or during the sessions we had. Yeah, so
Yeah.
really using the whole body and using the awareness and really letting go, because I think in singing, as you said, the tension blocks everything again. Yeah, it's the same concept.
And then, yeah, how we use a little muscle here, how we use the breathing, how our body control. In fact, my husband just yesterday, he just asked me, how did you make that big, full, rich sound?
Yeah.
And then I say, you know what? It's how I connect to my core, how I use my whole body, and I use the gravity. I said,
yes, I wanted to say, I'm really feeling the grounding and the gravity.
And then he just looked at me again. He just like, what? Gravity? What does gravity do with the piano? I said, you know what? Once you understand that, we use what we have.
Yes, exactly.
That just kind of manifest, and it just brought out a lot more beauty than what we can think of.
Yeah.
And that's how I saw a lot of pianists, when we use our fingers, we want to press hard. Yeah. But think about the finger, just sink in. The gravity already bring our arm up.
Yeah, same.
And with the efficiency, 5 notes instead of working hard.
Yeah.
And I'm sure with your ballet movement, you felt the same way too.
Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah. Absolutely. Yes, it's such a big, also underrated or topic, the gravity, for example, because of course, if you think about ballet, you always see, high legs and high jumps and these very light beings, I would say, is the ballet dancers. But actually, to make this possible, I always say you need to master gravity. You really need to be a master of gravity. If you develop this sense, yes. And then you can, go high, Same concept.
The piano technique.
Yeah.
How to play. It's not to push fingers fast. It's how to utilize that little gravity and a little movement. Yeah.
Singing, grounding, yes, being connected to the earth through your feet, and then you can.
So does the singing too. How to get a breath. Oh, control it and ground. Exactly. No, that's exactly the same thing. And I started seeing that conducting, piano, and organ playing, everything started coming. They work together.
Oh.
That's why it's become easy to me, instead of, wow, that's a lot of work, how we put it all together.
Yes, I love that. But that's also so important to understand. Yes, because I work with people who are super, let's say multi-passionate. And I guess it's probably the same for you too. So they have, I have also singers and actors and actresses, and it's not, you don't learn it's not different disciplines you need to learn. It's really understanding what's underneath, and then you can use it, to sing, to ride the bike in a more efficient way on the way to work. Yes, whatever it is.
Exactly. Yeah, so beautiful. I love it. Oh, I want to thank all of you who joined us. Thank you. Yeah. So Ramona and I, we will come up with another topic, and we will post our another live again soon in the near future.
Yes, definitely.
So many, we are so overlapping. It's the same principle. Yeah.
It is. Yeah.
It's so beautiful. I love it.
Really beautiful. Yes.
All right, thank you so much. Thank you for joining us. Yeah, thank you, Ramona, for sharing all your insights.
Thank you.
I'll see you again soon. Okay, bye.